Hi, out on the deck. Look at my cherry tomatoes. Look at the beans. Everything's taken off. The cucumbers. I've got romaine lettuce. All my flowers are ready to bloom. I got cherry tomato blossoms. Another one. Another one. Those just going crazy. And more flowers come up. I don't know what those are. I just threw them in. See what would come up. But we had one night that was really bad downpours, and I did cover the plants because I didn't want them to get like over saturated in the boxes. But all the water dripped off into this. I did have the cover on, so it kind of got, I'm trying to dry it out, it kind of got waterlogged that night. But yeah, that's what I do. I have to cover them because it's like too much rain. They get waterlogged in the boxes. But anyhow, so it's kind of, I just want the freaking sun. So anyway, so the story of continuing my stories of what happened in the mountains. So one day I just got off of work, so I'm assuming it was like, I don't know, it was before dinner, and I'm just sitting in my truck at Elbow Pond, and I don't think, I wasn't camping there at the time, I think I was just pulled in there, and I'm sitting and relaxing, listening to music, and the gate was still open. I see this white truck go by. I'm like, oh, because, that time of year, you don't really see too many people up there. So I was like, oh. So then I see, all of a sudden, another white truck, a Ranger comes in, and I'm like, oh. And he's like, I don't know, it felt stalkerish, so I was like, oh, well, I don't need to have any problems, they probably know I'm homeless, so they're scoping me out, I don't know, which, that's what I felt like it was. Anyhow, so I leave, I'm leaving, I don't want any trouble. So I leave, I go up the mountain, and as I pull out, I'm going slow because I wanted to see if he was going to follow me up the mountain. And he did. He followed me up the mountain, like to the lookout area where you get reception. And he didn't come right away, but I could see him taking like branches off the road, and he's slowly coming. And I didn't think anything of it. I was just sitting there, and I was it was the first snow of the season. So I was at the lookout on 118 and taking a picture of the snow falling. It was like big snowflakes. It was so pretty. And I'm just sitting in my car relaxing, and he pulls behind me, and like he comes up to my window, and he's like, I'm doing a wellness check. And I was like, oh. I said, I'm fine, what's the problem, and he stalked me up the mountain. He followed me up there. So I knew they were checking me out, so I was like, all of a sudden he's like, I'm smoking a cigarette, he's like, oh, I smell weed. I was like, oh. So anyways, he's acting all shady and like really, really fucking nervous, and I was just like, I kind of started crying just because like I'm trying to change my life and trying to mind my own business. I'm like staying away from people, and they're still like stalking around me. So I told him, I said, I'm just up here trying to start my life over. I said, so I don't need any problems. I said, I lost my home on mortgage fraud, and I'm up here trying to get away and, change my life. I don't need any problems. And so he's like all shady, and he's like acting really nervous. His eyes are bugging out of his head. I don't know what was going on, but anyways, I'm just a woman on the side of the mountain, and he's acting all like, so he hurries up and he grabs my purse and he brings it to his truck, and he starts going all through my purse. So anyways, it was a bad day. And then he's like, I was like, well, I didn't consent to that search. And he's like, well, do you want me to call the state police up here? Because they can handle it instead if you'd like that. If you'd like the state police to come. And I was like, no, it's okay. But yeah, that was weird. So that was another little episode. I'm sure there's more that's going to pop into my head, but yeah, my adventures up in the mountains was fun.